our Downey team. We're live now. It is 12 noon, right away at the top of the hour for the afternoon. I am here in my office on this dreary, rainy day, and I've got my space heater on, and I think I've got it to about 85 degrees in here. So even though it's not summer outside, I'm going to make it feel like it in my office. So anyways, I just want to wait a minute, and today we're going to be talking about staging your home to sell. And a lot of people, I think, are a lot more familiar with staging their home and what that entails. So it'll be a good thing to talk about it today. So we've got another viewer popping on. Like I said, we'll probably just wait till 12:01 to get started, just to give somebody an extra minute to hop on. Try to make it condensed and a lot of information in a short amount of time. So it's 12:01. All right. So home staging, what we're going to talk about today is what it is. And what I was saying is a lot of people today, when I go out and meet with them, are a lot more familiar with the concept. Thank you, I think, to HGTV and all the home shows than they were when you really started using this. I think it's been like 8 years ago. So 8 years ago, nobody had heard of it. And we technically used it. I started using it on my problem listing. So when I went out to a house and I felt that we were going to have a challenge selling it and they needed a lot of help and guidance and just getting the house ready, which is absolutely okay. We all live in our homes differently than when we go to market them. I started using a stager to come out and work on those homes. And what I noticed is that they were selling faster and for more money than the other homes. And so I started thinking to myself, well, this probably is something that everyone could benefit from, and started doing it on all of my listings. So again, going back to what it is, it just really depends on what staging is. There's different forms of staging. There are staging where we talk about big items. So a lot of times when I come out to meet with somebody, whether they're thinking about selling now, in 30 days, in 6 months, or 1 year, we go through the house and talk about big ticket items or kind of bigger things that may take time, investment of other contractors, people, investment on the sellers. Meaning whether it's painting rooms, repairs that need to be done, deferred home maintenance type items, decks that need staining, just carpet replacement, flooring replacement, should we, shouldn't we, even as far as the kitchen, countertop, should we, shouldn't we, light fixtures, just kind of going through the house, and big ticket items is something that we do. The second thing is a lot of times staging talks about furniture placement. And this is something that's really interesting, how it is when you place furniture in a room, whether you work with an interior designer or a decorator. And again, a lot of home staging companies are interior decorators. They are phenomenal at placing the furniture in a room so that it would allow it to show it in its best light. The room's going to look larger. It's going to highlight whether it be a fireplace, a feature, a window. And it is really amazing what they do. A lot of people going through the staging process have invited the stager back to their new home to help them just get the furniture placed right and maximize the rooms. The other thing is bringing in pieces. So sometimes, again, with staging, the stager will come out and talk about whether a bowl of fresh fruit, apples, greenery, artwork, mirrors to maximize rooms, just kind of what we try to do here. And this is what I want to point out when we think about what staging is. In Rochester, it is common that we work with what we have in the home. We try to do it in a budget-friendly manner. So maybe it's a trip to TJ Maxx, Home Depot, Target, somewhere like that, to get pillows, bedding, shower curtains, things that really just can kind of dress up the home or neutralize it for photos. Now, when you go to the Twin Cities market, it's amazing because they have staging companies that come in and actually will remove your furniture and replace it with whatever it is, more updated furniture, art, decor. It's very custom up there, where people will spend, it's usually about 1 to 1.5% of the list price of the home. So you can imagine sometimes this is $2,000 to $5,000 on staging the home. And the belief is that, and they see it, it's not even just a belief, that technically these homes always sell for more and also for more money. Where here in Rochester, that concept has not caught on. There's a couple agents, or like I said, sometimes people will bring in a dining room table or pieces or work with a furniture company, but that is not as common. So again, that is kind of everything that what staging is. And today, internet marketing is so important. When everything is on the internet, home buyers are making their decision, as we all know, based on photos. And sometimes the photos are this big by this big, right? They're doing it on their mobile phone, and they're deciding whether they want to take the next step and either watching a video tour or coming out to see the home or even drive by it based on your photos. So again, this is just really imperative, even though we all live in our houses differently, to go ahead and get them staged. So again, talking about, is it necessary in today's market? Especially a lot of people think in this market with the low inventory, maybe it's not necessary. I don't need that. I can just go ahead and throw my house online, put a sign out front, and it'll sell. And you know, there might be in some price ranges some truth to that, where you know what, you could just throw it on the market, put your sign out front, and it would possibly sell. But the difference is are you getting the maximum dollar for your house and for what it has to offer? And that's where it makes a difference. Again, the buyer's expectations today watching HGTV is that the houses look like they see on TV, staged, beautiful, the decor is right. They're buying into an idea of what it could look like or what it would look like if they live there. And again, in today's world, when everything is so visual, where we have video, everything on our phones, everything's picture perfect. A lot of buyers, when I work with them, they have a tough time seeing past stuff or how it could be, just because a lot of times we don't even have to think that way anymore. As even magazine advertising, everything is so airbrushed, beautiful, sterile, perfect, that we forget to look beyond what we see immediately right away. So most sellers are doing it. And again, bottom line is just getting the most people into your home, maximizing the sales price that you will get. And I think it definitely is still worth it even in this market. So I want to show you a little video of what a staging consult kind of looks like. We were out at one of our sellers' houses this series lately, and Wendy was so gracious to allow us to do a little video blurb at her house. So I'm going to show it to you now. Hi, I'm Beth Nardoni with the Nardoni team, and today we're here at a staging consult. We had Wendy, who was gracious enough to let us use her to kind of show what one is like, and we have Melissa from Something Old, Something New Staging, or the stager that we use for our sellers who are going to be getting on the market. So tell us, what is the purpose of a staging consult?
So a staging consult is something for really a benefit for both the realtor and the seller. It's pretty hands-off, casual approach to just coming in and helping prioritize in getting ready for photo day, really is what it's all about. So go through, talk about depersonalizing, decluttering, maximizing potential and square footage in most of your rooms, get you a nice punch list to kind of work through, and just making sure that you're ready for that photo day and be well represented online.
All right. So I think that your expectation is just that it help you get the house ready. Exactly. Yep. So a lot of times I come out to the house and I was here, we walk through and talk about kind of big ticket things, or whether there's painting. Sometimes you have removal of wallpaper, any repairs, anything like that. And sometimes Melissa comes at different stages. Sometimes it's in the very beginning stages where there's a longer list, and sometimes it's at the end where it's more fine tuning. And I'd say here we're somewhere in the middle where we are in the process of getting the house ready, so definitely have stuff all around it. It almost gets messier before it gets before it gets how it looks online, as we like pack stuff up, move it around, just the general chaos, things like having just gone through this. Yes. So I think we'll just show a little bit about what it looks like. You guys can get started, and then that'll be it. See how it is at the end. All right.
Okay, so one of the first things we want to talk about is just actually getting you some information about general common sense things that we want to do to try and get ready. Paint touch-ups, general repairs, going around and making sure that we have all of our light bulbs replaced. All of those little things kind of do matter. So I'll leave you with that. I do have 3 kind of detailed overviews of what we'll actually talk about during the consult. And again, that just refers to the decluttering, depersonalizing, and staging, that big scary word. Really, we're not going to touch anything or move anything today. We just want to get everything on paper so that you have somewhere to start, and you can get motivated and kind of just work your way through the room or through the whole house, getting ready for photo day. So I think the best place to start is probably in the kitchen. So let's go ahead and get started. You do really want to focus on your workspace, your prep space. So what we do recommend is trying to clear countertops of all items other than a few daily use items. We don't want the kitchen to look naked or vacant. That's not interesting. But choosing a few items like a utensil jar, maybe a spice rack, coffee pot, fresh fruits, vegetables, live greens, always welcome. Those are great for photos. So your everyday things like dishes, drop zone items, electronics, food items, those are things we definitely want to have put away for photo day. Another important thing in the kitchen area, rags, rugs, and towels. And this will apply to your bathrooms as well. If you can pull out any floor rugs, towels that hang on appliances or hardware in those areas, those are going to make that's going to make your photos, your spaces actually look larger, because rugs actually color block our spaces. So that's another kind of important thing. Yep, rugs, rags, rugs, and towels. Those are all things we want out of the kitchens and bathrooms. Okay. Bathrooms or bath linens, you're going to want to have those out. But any rugs or toilet seat covers in those areas we'll want to store as well. Random items, again, if they're things that are not intentionally there, those are things that we want to pull away. And that, again, will kind of go with the countertops and the rest of the look that we're trying to get for the kitchen. HGTV has done us no favors in the market as far as being a seller. It's very difficult. People are picky and it's hard for them to see through things. So we're just trying to emphasize the structure and the amenities as we go through each room.
Okay. So again, I think that was fun and helpful just to see. It usually is an hour, a little over an hour long process to go through the home, but that is just a glimpse of what it looks like. I gotta stop my.
It's been pretty seamless.
There you go. All right. So again, just a couple things to recap. Trying to keep in mind, this is just, we're trying to do quick 15-minute or less videos. Home versus house. Home is what we live in, house is what we sell. So again, there definitely is a difference when it comes to how we live in our house versus what we do to sell them. I really think it's important to play the game, per se, is what I like to say, meaning what everybody else is doing. I think a lot of buyers today, or when I meet with sellers, they've looked online thinking about where they're going and looking at the houses, what they look like, how neat they are. They can see the pictures, they can see the appliances, versus when they cannot. And I've had a couple sellers recently, interestingly enough, one went down south, one went up to northern Minnesota to buy a house, and they were in markets where it wasn't common. And they said it was amazing when they went in houses, everything they saw that was out, and just how kind of cluttery and messy it was. And they still obviously bought a house. And I said, well, how was it looking at it versus what you did to sell it? And they said, yeah, I can see what a big help it was for what we did, and also for the buyer to really pay top dollar for the house. Again, I want to show, if I can show here, I got to do a screen share again. I want to show some pictures that I found.
Basically, Beth, set us our timeline, and then we've just been contacted with dates.
Okay. Maybe I'm not. I want to do this here. Technical difficulties. All right, I'm going to do it. It's worth it. Okay, I want to show you. This is really cool. I found these and it's really true. And I tried to find some that were true for what we see here or in our market. But for example, this would be a before, and you can see what it would look like in the fridge. And, I mean, this is common. There's a lot of people that put all their invitations, photos, everything up on their house and what it looks like after. And you can see even in a picture as far as which one would be more appealing and which one would be more enticing to go see. Here's another one. Again, just it's tough when you look at these pictures online, and they usually are this size. Like, this is definitely, I think, hands down, everyone would agree, is more appealing than this one here. I got two more examples. Here's a living room. And, interesting enough, this is when it goes into the concept of probably bringing in some furniture that you see more in the cities, in the rug, where you can tell like the furniture is different. But even if we take away the fact that the furniture is different, when you look at even switching out, like making the curtains match, the art, getting rid of this piece here in this booked CD tower, what a difference it makes when looking at these online. And the last one here, is the kitchen. And again, this is kind of what Mel was talking about that day when she was at the house. You can see the knife block, the utilities, just kind of everything on a countertop, and then what a difference it makes by looking at the difference. So I wanted to show those as well. So again, I think hopefully today that you've seen just through photos a little bit more of what it looks like, and then definitely just to see that it's worth the investment. So I'm going to take a minute to see if anyone has any questions. Otherwise, I'm going to play you one last video before we go. It's 12:15. I don't see any questions, and for some reason, my video is, now there it is. All right, so in the end, I think it's fun to share. I am proud of the team and Noelle, who's the listing coordinator, Mel, who works with us staging-wise. So I'm just gonna show you a video of Wendy, who their house is on the market now, but just kind of what it's been like in the process so far. Oh, there's a question. There's one question I'll get before we go. Well, how much does staging cost? It really depends on the time that's out there, probably who you call, but on our team, that's something that is covered as far as in the listing agreement. Again, like I said, 8 years ago, I did it on my difficult listings, saw how much faster and how much more they sold for, and decided that really it's something that I wanted to offer on all listings. Obviously, it benefits a homeowner, a home seller. It benefits me. It just is good all around. So I decided to include that as part of the package. So it doesn't cost anything when you sell your house with the Nordani team. All right, so that's a great question. And again, I am going to go ahead and show this last video, and then we will call it a day for today. I'm going to end with this. I also want to say lastly that we have our next event July 14th, and the subject is the right agent, the agent that you bought your home from, the right agent to help you sell your home. So something to ponder between now and then. So again, here is the last video. And thank you for joining us today.
It's been pretty seamless. Basically, Beth, set us our timeline, and then we've just been contacted with dates, and we've got it all set up. Yeah, I think it was the same day Beth came out to our house. We had everything all lined up, and so our timeline is pretty set, and we're just working towards that goal, and it's been really easy. I've really loved working with Beth and her whole team, so I have not hesitated already. I think I've already told 3 or 4 people about her, one person even before we started using her for this selling process. But yeah, the team works so well together. They're all so nice, and I really just feel like it makes me feel confident that we'll be able to sell our house for a fair price, and that we'll be able to leave and know that we were taken care of well.
So again, thank you. Also thank you to Wendy for allowing us to come intrude on her in her home with Mel that day. I really appreciate it, and it means a lot to myself and the team when I hear that feedback. That is why we did everything. So thank you.